Some people weren't sent to like you, they were sent to watch you, because you're carrying something surveillance can't explain. Let that sink in. Ever wondered why certain people randomly show up in your life, but something about them feels too scripted? Why you're constantly protected from situations that should have destroyed you but didn't? That's not luck, that's classified. Here's a fact. In military intelligence, high-value assets are never left unattended. They're tracked, guarded, surrounded, not because they're fragile, but because they're critical to the mission. Now, what if you are the asset? What if the setbacks weren't punishment, but protocol? What if the delays were defense tactics to confuse the opposition? What if your life has looked slow because you've been under divine lockdown? And the best part, some of the people watching you don't even know why they're watching. They just can't look away, like spiritual paparazzi, confused, nosy, and low-key obsessed. Welcome to the hidden reality, chosen one because of what others know about you. Special forces have been assigned to protect you. Let's unpack what you were never supposed to find out. But first, stay aware, because even the algorithm might be trying to keep this truth from you. Number one, you're not hidden. Because you're weak. You're sealed because you're weaponized. You're not hidden because you're weak. You're sealed because you're dangerous. That's a hard truth most people never consider, especially when life feels slow, silent, or like nothing's happening. But the truth is, when something is highly valuable, it's not left exposed, it's not paraded, it's not sent out without protection. It's sealed because it's not time yet. There are things about you that even you haven't fully seen. Dimensions of your voice, your presence, your insight still being developed, still being sharpened. And until that edge is precise, until that timing is right, you're not just being kept from the world, you're being kept for the right moment. That's not a punishment, that's preparation disguised as delay. Most people confuse being overlooked with being unworthy, but in your case it's the exact opposite. The silence wasn't a sign of insignificance, it was a security measure. If they had seen who you were becoming too soon, they would have tried to either stop it or use it. So life folded you up like a classified letter, not to suppress you, but to send you when the address was ready. People think visibility equals validation, but you're not called to be visible, you're called to be impactful. And impact often requires obscurity first. Even weapons are stored before they're deployed, and you're not motivational material, you're spiritual artillery. That's why the warfare on your life has never matched your current status, because the threat was never about where you are. It's about where you're headed. And here's the uncomfortable truth. You're not sealed because you're delicate. You're sealed because you're volatile in the best way. You're disruptive. You challenge what others normalize. You're a walking contradiction to systems built on lies, and that kind of presence, it's not allowed to move freely, not without escort. So if it feels like life has been holding you back, don't resent it. Respect it. You're not being stalled. You're being restrained for impact. Not everyone is chosen to walk this path, and not everyone would survive it. But you're not everyone. You're sealed. Because when you finally move, something ancient shifts, and everyone watching will know why you were hidden for so long. Number two, enemies recognized your potential before you did, and that's why they showed up early. The attacks on your life didn't start when you became successful. They started before you even knew who you were. That alone should tell you something. People saw something in you that you hadn't recognized in yourself yet. There was a weight on your life, a presence you carried, and they responded to that, sometimes without even knowing why. That early opposition wasn't random, it was a reaction to your potential. And in the spiritual world, potential is often detected long before it becomes visible. You've probably noticed how certain people just didn't like you, for no clear reason. You hadn't done anything to them, you weren't competing with them, you were just existing, and somehow that was too much. That's not about personality clashes, that's spiritual tension. On some level, they sensed your future. They felt the authority you didn't even know you had, and their spirits responded like an alarm going off. There's a reason you were targeted in childhood, betrayed early, rejected by people who were supposed to protect you. The enemy never waits for you to rise before he attacks. He goes after the blueprint. If he can distort you before you become, if he can traumatize you before you awaken, he thinks he can shut down what you were designed to carry. That's why the warfare didn't wait. It met you in your innocence. That's not a coincidence. That's precision. But here's the thing they didn't count on. You survived it. You took the hits, felt the pain, and still kept rising. You outgrew what was supposed to break you. You walked through sabotage, abandonment, depression, and still kept the fire. And now you're starting to realize the very things that came to destroy you were actually confirmation. Because if there wasn't something extraordinary about you, they would have left you alone. You don't have to question your purpose anymore. Just look at your opposition. Look at what tried to stop you early. The evidence of your calling is in the resistance you've faced. And if they showed up before you knew who you were, it means they knew first. That fear they had of you, it was never about your past. It was always about your future.